All right, let's talk about Joe Flacco and his, quite frankly, weird game. You see the box score stats, throws 3 interceptions, and you're like, okay, goes back to being old Joe Flacco. We get it, I guess I should say, goes back to being, old in age Joe Flacco. Of course, Flacco, contrary to popular belief, was a very good quarterback for a number of years for Baltimore. But, nevertheless, it's like, okay, turn into a pumpkin here. The Bears able to win the game. And then all of a sudden, the Browns found a way to win. So let's talk about what went wrong early on, because to be honest, it could have been a lot worse than it actually was early on. Something like this, it's a zone coverage play, and you see the concept on the screen, how, where Flacco is going to want to look. However, when Flacco takes a snap, he runs a play action, looks over, and is under pressure quickly. He doesn't love what he sees. Going to use those wheels because when you can run like Joe Flacco, running game has to be a big part of your mindset. Okay, not really. Getting tackled from behind, and this is a really weird play. Watch him. It looks like he just threw the ball backwards, and it luckily went out of bounds for them. I'm not sure if it got knocked out. I'm assuming it was at least knocked out to some degree. I can't imagine his idea was to throw it backwards right there. It almost looked like one of those situations where someone's getting tackled on the last play of the game and just desperation tries to keep the play alive. Either way, not a great situation for the Browns there. Could have been worse. Also, some of the interceptions, some of them just weren't his fault. Like, the pick six, I would just say straight up wasn't really, kind of a lucky interception there, or a fluky interception, I should say. Not luck, good defense by the Browns, or by the Bears, excuse me. But something like this is also somewhat in the fluky camp, although I have to say, I'm surprised this hasn't happened more frequently with the Browns. The concept, you see the route that the receiver is going to be running. Okay, sure, let's see what happens. This can work. Flacco is going to take the snap. He looks in that direction, fires in that direction while getting hit, throws an accurate pass if the receiver was in fact running over the middle, but he's not. Just, the Browns not on the same page right here, and this is an issue, obviously. And to be honest, it's kind of crazy this hasn't happened more given how new to the team Flacco is. And again, who knows if this is Flacco's fault or the receiver's fault. Either way, though, results in an easy interception. Anytime you see an interception like that where it looks like, you threw it right to a defender, almost always going to be due to a miscommunication, not due to just a complete misthrow. They look ugly, but, sometimes they're not even the quarterback's fault. Maybe this was Flacco's fault, maybe it wasn't. Either way, though, not good. And this interception was an interesting one. So the way it's going to work is it's a zone coverage concept, and you see the route that he's going to want to try and hit. Tight end's route over the middle. Okay, makes sense. It's a route that they can definitely look towards, the one that I've circled in white. There is another route that's going to hopefully just get the corner on that side of the field to stay on that side of the field. However, when Flacco runs this play action, he looks up to the safety. Safety hasn't covered the over-the-middle route, so it feels pretty good. And also, I apologize, it's blurry. Couldn't find a still frame that wasn't, so working with what we have. But you see, the Chicago Bears defender who's covering the bottom of the screen is moving pretty high up towards the top of the screen. You have another player down there who's currently getting wide open, and again, it probably is worth mentioning that, well, yes, he is kind of getting wide open here. This is after the ball is thrown, obviously. It wasn't as open when Flacco got rid of the football. But as you see, Tyreek Stevenson of the Bears does a great job at getting the interception. Really good play by him. But also, maybe Flacco could have potentially realized what was going on and thrown it and gotten a touchdown instead of the interception. Once this happened, kind of felt like the game was over, right? Flacco around 5 yards per attempt. Bears are up 2 scores. They get the interception towards the end zone. Flacco 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. All right, it is what it is. But then all of a sudden, here comes elite Joe Flacco. Like, heading over to a play like this, what's going to happen is, this was really, kind of the key play to get them back into the game a little bit. You can't see the, situation, but it's, fourth quarter has just started. The Browns got the ball back pretty quickly. 1st and 15, down 10. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Watch how when Flacco is going to take the snap right here, he, looks over the middle, likes what he sees, fires the ball down the field. And, you see on this play, Marquise Goodwin is wide open. The Bears, I thought, played pretty good defense in this game. Not on this play, though. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if I think a player was supposed to pick up Goodwin and just didn't. A lot of times these routes aren't open, though. A lot of times these routes are covered, and sometimes quarterbacks won't even really look in this direction. Flacco always does a great job, though, of, he loves to throw the ball deep, right? So if he has an opportunity, he's going to at least glance over there and see if it can work out. this certainly can work out. And as you see, really perfectly thrown to where Goodwin can run after the catch as well. Didn't get like a ton of yards, but hey, every little bit helps after the catch, and still got some yards after the catch. So really good stuff there by Flacco to be able to make that work, and just good stuff by the Browns offense in general to get open. That was able to set up a scoring drive, but not a touchdown drive. It stalled. They had to still try to get a touchdown. But then going over here, so, they weren't able to score right away, but you have 3 minutes left. Kind of need a touchdown on this drive, it feels like. Not technically, you still could have a chance even if you don't get the touchdown, but you would really like it here. Amari Cooper's running a route that's going to get into a gap in coverage, and hopefully with the only outside receiver on the offense's right running a deep route, that can push the corner further deep, and there could be a window. It's going to come down to timing on this play. Watch as when Flacco takes the snap, he is going to eventually look over the middle of the field. He fires over the middle of the field. And again, there's a window. This is not a wide open window, though. I mean, this is going to be a pretty tough throw, kind of trying to, I don't want to say fully threading the needle, but it's going to be a tough throw. There isn't a huge window. But watch Flacco put it right on the money, and then watch Cooper, after the catch, find a way to get into the end zone for a touchdown as well. That tied the game. They were able to eventually win the game 20-17. So, again, got to give credit to the Browns defense, of course, making it possible. But Flacco did just enough. Listen, was this a good day by Flacco? No. And in fact, it could have been worse. This one was could have been, a turnover that wasn't. It's, on paper, a pretty simple play, pretty smart play, trying to just hit Cooper in a one-on-one matchup. But the issue is, the team you're playing might know what you're doing. They might know you're going to try to hit Cooper on a route like this. As you see, Flacco takes the snap. He's ready to fire in this direction. But again, for the defender here for Chicago, he's aware that this could be potentially something that's happening. That's Jalen Johnson, who's been a great corner for them. Watch Johnson step in. He nearly got that interception. For a second, it looked like he had it. So could have been another turnover, and maybe that, would have really helped out Chicago in that sense. So, either way, there were some issues here for the Browns, but they did enough positives. And again, they're not looking for star quarterback play out of Joe Flacco. They're not. They're hoping for it. Sure, you always hope for it. But what they want is just good enough quarterback play to get you into the postseason. They have a interesting schedule. They play the Jets in 2 weeks, which you kind of expect to be a win. But again, you never know. But you expect that to be a win. You still have the Texans and the Bengals, two teams also fighting for AFC wildcard spots. So, their destiny's in their own hands at this point, and for Flacco, he did enough, and if he can play fourth quarter Joe Flacco like he did in this one for an entire game, they certainly could be a really dangerous team. At the same time, though, you could easily look at this and say, well, this is a disaster. If he plays like this consistently, we're not even making the playoffs. That's also possible because, I thought Flacco, I do think he's looked good so far. This was not his best day, but he still found a way to win. So I guess, conflicting thoughts on the Joe Flacco performance. In a small sample size, I guess you'll still take it. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on all of that. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.